In a world shrouded in secrecy and mystery, there exists a nation unlike any other, a place where the veil of propaganda hides chilling truths behind closed borders. Today we embark on a journey to uncover the harrowing reality of a nation isolated from the world's gaze. Brace yourself as we delve into the heart of darkness, where tales of oppression and resilience intertwine in ways you've never imagined. Get ready to witness first-hand accounts and shocking revelations that will challenge everything you thought you knew. This is not just a story, it's a stark reminder of the power and peril that lies beyond the headlines. Forced labor and human exploitation. In North Korea, forced labor isn't just a dark secret, it's a systematic, state-controlled reality. Men, women, and even children are subjected to grueling, uncompensated labor. This isn't just about hard work, it's about a regime that uses forced labor as a tool to control its people and sustain its economy. Imagine being forced to work long hours on massive infrastructure projects, like building roads or factories, without any pay. This is the reality for countless North Koreans, including prisoners in political and hard labor camps. These camps are notorious for their harsh conditions and brutal treatment. Now you might be wondering, why does North Korea do this? The regime uses forced labor to maintain control over the population. By keeping people busy and exhausted, they're less likely to rebel or even think about dissenting. Plus, the regime benefits economically from this virtually free labor force. The government controls various organizations and labor brigades that mobilize these workers. It's not just adults who suffer. Children are also caught in this cruel system. They're pulled out of school and forced to work, losing their chance at a normal childhood and education. In these political camps, conditions are especially dire. Prisoners endure extreme hardships, including torture and starvation. They're forced to work under the constant threat of violence, with little to no hope of ever escaping this nightmare. So why should we care about what's happening in North Korea? Because it's a stark reminder of what happens when power is unchecked and human rights are ignored. Forced labor isn't just a North Korean issue, it's a human issue. There are organizations and brave individuals working tirelessly to expose these atrocities and help those who manage to escape. But there's still so much more to be done. Political prison camps. Quan Liso. Let's shed a light on a grim and often hidden aspect of life in North Korea. The political prison camps, also known as Quan Liso. North Korea operates a network of these political prison camps, where detainees endure some of the harshest conditions imaginable. These aren't just prisons, they're places designed to break the human spirit. In these camps, detainees face forced labor, often working from dawn until dusk on infrastructure projects, farming, or mining. The work is grueling, and there's no compensation. It's all part of a system meant to control and oppress the population. The conditions in these camps are beyond inhumane. Prisoners suffer from severe malnutrition, with little food to sustain them. Starvation is common, and medical care is almost non-existent. But it gets worse. Torture is a regular part of life in these camps. Interrogations often involve beatings and other brutal methods to extract confessions or simply to punish. The fear of such treatment hangs over every prisoner. Executions are another grim reality. Prisoners can be executed for the smallest infractions or simply to serve as a warning to others. This culture of fear and violence is designed to crush any thought of dissent or rebellion. So why does the North Korean regime maintain these camps? It's all about control. By instilling fear, they ensure that people are too terrified to question or oppose the government. It's a brutal but effective strategy to maintain their grip on power. The existence of these camps has been exposed by brave defectors and satellite imagery. International organizations are working hard to bring these atrocities to light and push for change. Pretrial detention and torture. In North Korea, the legal system isn't about justice. It's arbitrary, cruel, and designed to instill fear. People can be detained for any reason or no reason at all, and once you're in the system, getting out is almost impossible. Those who are detained face brutal interrogations. Imagine being locked in a tiny, filthy cell with no access to a lawyer or even basic rights. Interrogations often involve severe beatings and torture. The goal isn't just to extract information, but to break the spirit of the detainees. Women and girls in detention face particularly horrifying conditions. They are especially vulnerable to sexual violence and exploitation. This isn't just about punishment, it's about asserting control and instilling deep fear. The stories from survivors are heartbreaking. Many recount relentless beatings, torture with electric shocks, and other brutal methods. These inhumane practices leave both physical and psychological scars that last a lifetime. Statistics are hard to come by, but defectors and human rights organizations estimate that thousands endure these horrors each year. The regime's goal is clear: to silence dissent and maintain an iron grip on the population. Food insecurity and starvation. North Korea faces a severe food crisis. The regime's poor management and its focus on military spending over social services have left many North Koreans struggling to find enough to eat. Food insecurity is widespread, and it's a daily battle for survival. Imagine waking up every day not knowing if you'll have enough food to feed your family. That's the harsh reality for countless North Koreans. Malnutrition is rampant, especially among children, who often suffer from stunted growth and other health issues due to lack of proper nutrition. It's not just food that's scarce. Basic necessities like medicine and hygiene products are also hard to come by. Many people are forced to live without access to proper health care or even basic sanitation, making their daily lives incredibly difficult. The situation has only worsened during the COVID-19 pandemic. In an attempt to prevent the spread of the virus, the North Korean government imposed stricter border controls, cutting off essential supplies from China. This has made it even harder for people to get the food and medical supplies they desperately need. One of the main reasons for this crisis is the regime's prioritization of military spending over social services. While the government spends billions on its military, it neglects the basic needs of its people. This imbalance has led to a humanitarian crisis that affects millions. Despite the challenges, international aid organizations are working tirelessly to provide assistance. However, getting aid into North Korea is extremely difficult due to the government's strict control and isolationist policies. COVID-19 restrictions and human rights violations. When COVID-19 hit, North Korea took extreme measures to try and prevent the virus from spreading. The government implemented strict lockdowns, closed borders, and imposed harsh restrictions on movement. But these measures didn't just target the virus. They also severely impacted the people. One of the most shocking measures was the shoot-on-sight order for anyone approaching the border. This order was meant to prevent anyone from entering or leaving the country, but it also isolated North Korea even more from the rest of the world. People living near the borders were in constant fear for their lives. These draconian measures made an already dire situation much worse. North Korea was already facing significant humanitarian crises before the pandemic. The strict COVID-19 restrictions only exacerbated these issues, leading to even greater shortages of food, medicine, and other essential supplies. Many North Koreans suffer from chronic food insecurity. The government's focus on military spending over social services has left countless people malnourished. With the borders closed, the flow of essential supplies from China was cut off, making it even harder for people to get what they need to survive. The lockdown measures also led to increased human rights violations. People who were suspected of having COVID-19 were often detained without proper medical care. Families were separated, and individuals were left to suffer in isolation, all in the name of controlling the virus. The pandemic has shown us just how vulnerable North Koreans are under their government's oppressive regime. While the rest of the world was grappling with COVID-19, the people of North Korea faced not only the virus, but also the harsh realities of their government's response. Gender-based violence and discrimination. In North Korea, women face severe and systemic discrimination and violence. This isn't just occasional mistreatment, it's built into the very fabric of society and often facilitated by government officials. One of the most horrific aspects is sexual slavery. Women are often trafficked and forced into sexual servitude. This isn't just a crime of opportunity, it's a systematic issue where even officials can be involved. Forced marriages are also common, stripping women of their autonomy and subjecting them to further abuse. And it gets worse. Women who manage to escape to China in search of a better life face brutal consequences if they're caught and sent back. Repatriated women endure harsh punishment and egregious abuses in detention. This includes forced labor and sexual violence, making their ordeal even more unbearable. In detention, the conditions are horrific. Women are not only forced to work under extreme conditions, but also subjected to sexual violence by guards and officials. The lack of basic human rights and dignity is appalling. So why is this happening? The North Korean regime uses gender-based violence and discrimination as tools of control. By keeping women oppressed, they maintain a tighter grip on society and ensure that people are too beaten down to resist. International organizations and activists are working hard to bring these issues to light, but we need to do more. By spreading awareness, we can put pressure on governments and international bodies to take action against these human rights violations. Awareness is the first step toward change. By learning about these issues and sharing this information, we can help amplify the voices of those who are suffering and push for justice and reform. Thank you for watching and helping to shed light on this critical issue. If you found this video informative, please give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel. We've got plenty of other amazing videos that dive into important topics from around the world. Together, we can make a difference. See you next time.